Hi fellow traders, I'm going to discuss about Euro USD, GBP USD, AUD USD and USD CAD today in this video. So let's start with Euro USD. Nowadays market has been moving exactly like we studied in very basic method of technical analysis. For example, you can see Euro USD, it completed A, B, C, D with CD as 127.2% extension of BC. Totally accurate ABCD 127.2%. And then there was a gradual move to the upside, which took out this recent high of the minor ABCD, which was inside the bigger ABCD. For example, I discussed this bigger ABCD, but there is a smaller ABCD starting from this point A, B, C, D. So technically, the minimum target for a reversal pattern has been completed as the market has already taken out this high. So this smaller ABCD has worked already as a reversal pattern. And market now is at the resistance zone. And if we look at the whole fundamental scenario, the movement to the upside in Euro USD, GBP USD, or USD have been caused mainly by rate cut expectation. But there is one thing which you must notice, that it took 21 days for euro from here to here to go and take out this height. And if we look at this movement, this was just a 6 days move. It means that there was gradual force to the bullish side, but this force was not strong enough comparatively. And that's why I can say that institutional traders or big players are not interested in buying euro against US dollar. So what can happen in euro? There are two things we need to understand. First, there are 5 or 6 members from FOMC speaking today, which will give a clearer picture what exactly is going to happen in June. And by the end of this month, we will get PCE, which is going to play a major role for further trend. But I'm not going to talk about the very long-term trend or very long-term prediction. Let's talk about what can happen this week. So let's stick to what we're going to see on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, Thursday. So first of all, I would like to say that the inflation has been coming down in euro area. If we look at the data coming since January, however, ECB did not cut the interest rate. So there are chances that the ECB can cut interest rate before Fed takes the decision of cutting the interest rate. And I think this is one of the or part of the reasons why there is no huge bullish force in Euro USD, despite there was a gradual move to the upside. So if we today have to talk about what to do with the Euro USD now, so definitely there is no good setup for the buy. I would like to see whether Euro USD is able to close above this high or not. When I say this high, I have drawn this rectangle, and I would like it to close above this 108.84.6 area. And definitely it can happen if we hear some dovish comments from FOMC members who are going to speak. So already I think 2 members have spoken today, and if we look at the 1 hour time frame, we can see that the Euro USD has been gradually going down, but this movement is not significant to take a bearish position. And even if we talk for a correction, this movement is not sufficient, is not giving me enough confidence to take a short position right now. So I would like to see Euro USD closing below this low to understand that there is a real influence of whatever FOMC members have spoken today, because nobody is going to give you a certain exact statement that yes, we are going to cut in June. They are going to speak about what they are inclined to. Are they more inclined to a rate cut in June, or are they more inclined to hold the rates and see further development in CPI and PCA? And this is going to play the main role. So the best thing to understand the total influence, overall influence of all the 6 members speaking today, is to understand the daily closing. It can be done by looking at the daily closing. But yes, I will rather prefer to short Euro USD if I have to short something against dollar, rather than shorting GBP USD or anything else. So I will make another video to talk specifically about Euro USD, where I can talk about entry and exit points. But today, let's just wait for what happens after this, after daily closing. Coming to GBP USD, even though the inflation has been decreasing even in the UK for since January, and even though the vote for cutting the rate in the June increased from 2 to 1, improving GDP and employment has put some uncertainty about rate cut in June, which is why we have seen more movement to the upside in GBP USD compared to Euro USD. So if we still do not get certain influence today from the FOMC members, I will rather suggest for you to wait for a minor pullback and take a buy position. So let's say we get dovish overall scenario from the US. Then if we have to buy something against US dollar, we will not consider euro to buy against US dollar, rather we'll consider pound or Australian dollar. The reason behind this is recent effect. Now, even the pound is at the resistance level. If you look at this swing high, this swing high, and this swing high, pound is also at a resistance level. But the question is whether this is going to reverse from here, or is it going to just correct a little and go to the upside. And the answer to this question will depend on what's going to happen in tomorrow's speech of Andrew Bailey, because he is also going to speak tomorrow. So today FOMC members are going to speak, tomorrow Andrew Bailey is going to speak, and then day after tomorrow CPI from the UK is coming. We do not need to see the CPI, because even the CPI has been decreasing. There was no clear sign of June rate cut in the press conference, and that is the reason it started rising exactly from the day when when Bank of England held press conference. So I wouldn't want to wait until the release of CPI. Rather I would see what is the outcome of FOMC members today, and what is Andrew Bailey's what we get out of the Andrew Bailey's speech tomorrow. Technically, we would like to see GBP USD closing below this, and then we can take the short position and we can target the minimum retracement, or else you can simply set a trailing stop, which will depend on how swings develop. In one of my previous videos, I had explained how I actually figure out the magnitude of trailing stop. So you can watch that video and understand, or maybe it will make this video, or else this video may be very lengthy if I explain the method of setting trailing stop. My point is, I will be very cautious about going short in GBP/USD. Rather, I'll be looking for the opportunity to go long in GBP/USD if I see a dovish sign from a FOMC and still uncertainty about June rate cut from the Andrew Bailey. Coming to Australian dollar. Just like Euro USD and GBP USD, Australian dollar has also reached a significant resistance. So the very first resistance level was here, including this swing high, this swing high, and this swing high, which was broken. And then we are in a resistance zone which is pretty close to the previous one made by a natural resistance zone, this swing high, and somewhere this swing high is also in the middle of this rectangle, and the recent swing high. So there are chances the AUD USD can also either correct to the downside, or it can also go for the reversal. Because if we look at the interest rate, Australia has been holding the interest rate for so many months, but the point is their inflation is not going down, like unlike what happened in the European Union or the UK. The inflation has not been consistent in Australia in last 3-4 releases. So that's why I cannot say I cannot be very certain about reversal, but yeah, correction is not off the table, because recent Australian employment condition was was bad if we look at the recent release of unemployment rate from Australia. So we can either skip Australian dollar, or if we have to trade Australian dollar, we can wait for correction, and then we can decide what we want to do with the Australian dollar. Coming to USD CAD. The story of USD CAD is very similar as the story of Euro. Decreasing inflation since January, but still Bank of Canada holding rate. So there are chances that the Bank of Canada will take a decision of cutting the rate before Fed take the decision. So if we have bullish bias in dollar, or if we get the signal from the FOMC members that they are going to hold the rates until September probably, then of course dollar will start rising, dollar index will resume the uptrend, and then the most losses will be seen in Canadian dollar and euro, and comparatively we will see less losses in GBP, USD, and AUD USD. So at that time, if we have to buy dollar against something, it will be buy in USD CAD and sell in Euro USD. And after that, now, if we want to sell dollar, maybe for the correction in US dollar index, and or maybe because of the upcoming data, maybe what happens after Thursday, or maybe what happens in the next week. And then if we want to sell US dollar, then definitely we'll need to look at the pound and Australian dollar to buy against the US dollar. So my bias is clear. If we have to go long in dollar, we'll buy dollar against euro and CAD, and when we get the opportunity to go short, no, short the dollar, we'll buy pound and odd against the dollar. And just like these three currencies, USD CAD is also apparently at a certain price level, which was earlier a resistance, which now has turned to be a support by all these swings. For example, this swing high, this swing high, this swing high, and this one. So like these three currencies, this also is at a certain level from where it can either reverse or it can break out. But there are I will favor the trade, long trade in USD CAD rather than going short. If we because I have already told you that if we have to short the dollar, then we are not supposed to short the dollar against Canadian dollar. We'll rather sell the dollar against pound and odd. So that's all. Let's see what happens today and tomorrow. And if we see a daily closing above this point, you can see this high and this high. So this high is 36.43.3. I want to see a clear close above this, and similarly I want to see a clear close below this low in euro, which is 108.35, to buy the dollar against euro and CAD. Alternatively, I will simply sit on hand, wait for what happens in the market. Maybe it will correct, maybe not, nobody knows. And if we do not get a clear trend, then we will certainly wait for little or minor correction, which should naturally take place, because we are already seeing the strength of the resistance, because it has driven the Australian dollar already to the downside, and today also it is driving it to the downside with slightly stronger force. So we may get the correction. So when there will be an absence of dollar bulls, after correction we can buy Australian dollar and GBP against the dollar. So either we are going to get a chance to short Euro USD and long USD CAD, or we are going to get a chance after correction to long GBP USD and odd USD. So that's all is my view, and I will be looking at what's coming from the events and data. Thanks for watching.